Okay, now we have to look at transport. Very important because, especially in a country dedicated to tourism and so on. And so we'll have a lot of changes in transport here in this strategy. The first one is no more toll booths, okay? Everything's free. The idea of charging to cross a bridge or ride a road, I don't know how many tolls you have in Greece, but you certainly have them. And of course, those get eliminated immediately. It's like slowing down the circulation of blood in the body, any kind of toll road or whatever. Incredible waste of resources when you have to take a car going 110 an hour, stop it, and start it up again just to collect a quarter. So the cost of the roads will no longer be extracted by stopping people and making them pull out money, Plus, what a horrible job working in one of those toll booths all day long, sucking up. So that's over with, right? And secondly, shortcuts. Everywhere in Greece, everywhere on Earth, there's places where we can build and use shortcuts, right? For example, in America, when you cross the Tappan Zee Bridge going west, it takes 8 or 9 kilometers of driving to drive south along the Hudson, okay? I mean, you go, there's a need of a shortcut there that'll save 8 kilometers that people are putting in now. So all over Greece, there's places where people are driving extra kilometers, extra hundreds of meters, and so on. So you create a program nationwide of putting in shortcuts, and thus, for very little cost, optimizing the Greek road system so everything flows a little better and moves a little better. And of course, you have the federal freelancers. So they can come in, individuals can come in and say, if we put a road through here, we could get to the shopping center so much faster. We'll do it. And they can actually, citizens can come up and propose and build shortcuts. All right, next you have cart paths. And this is extremely important, right? I rode, once upon a time, I was visiting a friend in Michigan. And he said, I'm going to work. If you want to go fishing, take the cart, go over to the next lake. So I went through the woods on this little golf cart. And it was one of the most wonderful rides of my life. And I don't think anybody has seen the possibility of the golf cart, right? Or it's never, again, something we have that we've hardly used. So what's nice about, you put in a national network of golf cart roads. And what's nice is you don't have to pave them, you don't have to change them, you just mark them. So with a bunch of flags and a little, markers on the ground, suddenly you've got a brand new alternate road system, which will take golf carts. Then it goes through the woods and it goes along. You see what I mean, right? And so now, for example, they discovered in America that the modern mother has no more free time than women had before the Second World War because she spends so much time chauffeuring her children around, taking them to dance lessons and to school and all those things in a big, heavy, gasoline-consuming car, right? Now, what if you could put your kids in their golf carts and send them off to their lessons, right? Well, would they be safe? Yeah, of course, because you put the policemen who used to be out chasing speeders, you don't need them anymore because of the federal witnesses. So they ride the golf cart lanes and watch after the children and make sure that they're safe and that they get home. All right? So here, all of a sudden, you now have an alternate system that starts moving people around, and instead of requiring tremendous amount of petrol and energy, it requires virtually no petrol and very little energy. Moreover, this golf cart system, it can't kill anybody. You put in an alternate, absolutely safe way to get people. Right? So you take a load off your main system, your main road system, and therefore reduce traffic all over Greece immediately. Cut the cost of living all over Greece immediately, and a certain percentage starts going around with golf carts. Okay, we'll move on because there's so much more, but these are. But again, this is a good example of the alternate path. Always not abolishing things or getting rid of them, but adding a new path, another, adding a bypass, adding some kind of way that things will move more effectively, okay? And then, for example, another thing is very important is to eliminate all traffic, a program to eliminate all traffic lights in Greece. There. Because traffic lights are death traps. The number of people maimed and killed at traffic lights in Greece and everywhere is astounding, because there's more pedestrians are killed on the green light than on the red light. So the traffic light's a death trap, okay? Plus, when you're driving, you're watching the light, you're not watching the street, are you, right? So we know how to eliminate traffic lights. You have to knock down some buildings maybe and put in a roundabout or whatever. But put a little bridge, it's expensive, but the point is, as you do this, if you have a goal of your entire country having no stoplights, imagine the amount of petrol you save, the amount of time you save, and the amount of lives you save. All right, so all traffic lights are just non-productive, counterproductive, and very dangerous. I've had an accident at a traffic light. Everybody I know has had an accident. And there's no need for that. We're stuck back 100 years before. One time I took the Tobin Bridge coming into Boston. There was like a 1 hour line to get off the bridge, right? And at the bottom of the bridge, the ramp, right in front of the Boston Science Museum, a 1900 traffic light. Right? And people backed up for 5 miles across the bridge. But this is symbolic of our whole society. We got traffic stopped everywhere. And on the subject of traffic again, what you want to do is get rid of all one-way streets, because they make you drive further. All right? And you just transform them to one-way priority streets. Right? One-way priority streets, okay. You can still go the other way in the last lane. Right? So people no longer have to go around and around and around to get where they're going. Right now, I mean, one-way streets were invented by the oil companies to sell more oil. So all you need is a little change in the regulation here. They become one-way priority, but not one-way absolute. So people get home quicker and so on. All right? Then, airline regulations. Very important for, this is made more for countries with a lot more air traffic, but basically you want to have a regulation which says that in the last 90 minutes before a flight takes off, any seat still available on board is sold for cost plus 10%. Now you're not going to have empty airline seats. Right? And you're also, let's say you have a death in the family and you have to fly somewhere. Right now, it's a disaster. You've got to buy the most expensive ticket, right? Because you got to go right away. And so they nail you every time. You know, your mother gets sick, it costs you 2,000 euros or something. It's ridiculous. Now we have an alternate path. All those empty seats that were flying around, we say they're ours. We're paying for them. We want them. Okay, airline regulation. And finally, for transportation, I would suggest that Greece build the world's first Earthplane network. I'm the inventor of a system called the Earthplane, which is a transport system rivaling the TGV, but costing a tenth as much to build, and can be put up about 10 times as fast. So I won't go into that much in words. There are videos and so on available on this, but certainly part of the strategy is for Greece to link all its cities with an Earthplane network. Okay.